What's going on, man? What's going on? There we go. All right. I don't know what's going on. If you're out there, if you're in the chat, please let me know. I've been trying to figure this thing out for the longest. Ah, man. So here's what happened. um, I was trying to multi-stream on Restream, and that joint was making this computer lag so much, so I wasn't actually able to do what I wanted. Technically, it worked, but I wasn't able to actually go live, which was the purpose. And even the formatting was weird, and so I was just like, maybe I should just stream on YouTube. So, okay, yeah, it seems to be working now. I was trying to live stream simultaneously on YouTube and Instagram, maybe even TikTok. But the way that restream works, it was giving me a headache. That's why I'm late, and I don't have much time either because I have to do other things. Um, I have to get on the mobile game, and I really feel like I can get a lot done, but this kind of set me back, and that's very frustrating. So I'm gonna have to figure it out, and I'm gonna have to redo this stream because I'm not, I don't know if I'm leaving now, but I was very. That's why I'm late. So I'm sorry if you're in here and you're like, "What the heck was going on?" I was waiting for this. I'm extremely sorry. Um, just being transparent with you, I was having technical difficulties. But what I'm doing now is I'm working on the comic, well, the manga, whatever it is, for Bonnie and Clyde. I've sort of switched up the. If you weren't here for the last stream, I've switched up the genre and the content because I'm sort of double dipping. I'm trying to make a comic that also leads back to the mobile game that you can play yourself. You'll be the game is about Bonnie and Clyde, and it's more of like a sci-fi romance action adventure sort of Robin Hood Cowboy Bebop. I know I spit a lot of words at you right there, but I was just trying to give you the theme and trying to give you a vibe of like different things that you can expect from the show, from the game, and from the webtoon. And right now, I'm sort of stuck on this. Um, I'm sort of setting the scene in this panel in particular. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should, excuse me, whether or not I should make the elites of this society um, be African, or if I should make them foreign. The reason for that is because um, how it all starts off, spoiler, is you're entering into a grand ball or like a grand auction. And of course, you have people who are buying all of these artifacts and stuff like that from these diverse and rich nations. And so I'm trying to figure out whether or not this should be left for a different series, if this should be for, if this is appropriate to have, because I'm sort of thinking like, okay, this is like a futuristic African vibe, but is it appropriate for what I'm trying to do? Regardless, I want to draw it, but I don't think I have much time for it anymore. And so now I'm like, ugh, what kind of stream is this going to be if I can't actually complete anything? Um, and I know some artists on YouTube, they sort of they just kind of draw and they don't really say much. I'm not sure if I could do that. I'm not sure if I'm one of those artists who can um, keep your attention just by the strength of his artistry. and I'm not sure how entertaining that is. I think it would be helpful for me if like I could just focus on the art and maybe to answer a few questions here and there. But at least for me, whenever I entered into those live streams, I would be there for a minute, but then I wouldn't really stick around. I would just might maybe pop in here and there. And I'm not sure if that accomplishes the purpose that I want for these live streams. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be engaging and entertaining. I feel like the last one went really well, so I want this one to. Yes, this is a JoJo reference. This is a JoJo reference, 100%. Um, so maybe I should keep it, right? Maybe I should keep it. But yes, this is Abdal, or at least someone who looks like him. Um, I'm glad somebody picked up on that immediately. So yeah, actually, let me show you some of the sketches. So since this is making a manga, right? I don't know if I should show you everything, but essentially you have like, I'm setting the scene. This is not how it starts off. This is the secondary set of panels. But I found this to be really helpful, creating thumbnails that like aren't necessarily great. They're just there to help you map out what the manga or the webtoon is going to look out. So I have the scroll format for webtoon, and I forget the dimensions that I have for this. I think it's like 16,000 by 20,000, because I want it to be super long. And so what I've already done is, because I've already written the chapters for the mobile game, I already have all the writing done for the first 4 chapters, right? So now that I have the writing set, I've created character designs. Now I'm ready to start putting it together. And because I have a good idea of what I want people to see and how I want things to start off and the flow and stuff like that, now I have to actually put it together in this scroll format. And in this scroll format, I'm not doing anything fancy. There's not a lot of layers that I can do in Procreate, because that's what I'm using for now. And so a lot of people use Clip Studio Paint. I think that's much better for this, because then you have a bunch of assets, you have 3D models and stuff like that. This laptop that I'm using right now isn't the greatest, and I don't want to overheat it or anything like that. It might explode any second. So yeah, that's why I'm using this. That's why I'm using Procreate. But I'm just getting my thoughts onto the scroll. I want to see like, okay, how is it going to fit all together? Usually what I did for my first webtoon for humans, I just kind of made the panels and then I sort of rearranged as I went along. I want to be more organized, and I want to be able to make sure that I have more breathing room for the scroll. And so I started off with like, okay, planets here, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have a landscape shot that I've already been working on. Then I'm going to have like a longer shot where it's like, okay, now you can see a bit more of, I'm zooming in more and more with each panel. And so I'm thinking about that. For if you have like more page format, you're thinking more about it, the flow in terms of a Z. So you're starting off on the right, at least for manga, and then you're kind of moving to the left, and then you're moving down here, and then you're moving down there. Here, you just scroll. And so that's why I have it in this format. And like you can even see like a lot of the panels are jagged and they're not necessarily straight all the time. I want to pick up the pace. I want to be able to capture your attention. And of course, there's going to be like a lot of speaking panels in between. So I want to be able to make sure that the flow looks correct, and I just make sure that I have the setting established. A lot of this is just setting the stage for what I want people to follow. And so that's kind of why I'm doing it in this format. But yeah, if you have any other questions about what I'm doing while I'm doing it, if you have any questions about what I'm making, if that's still unclear, seriously, just ask me. But if you're in here, could you also like the stream? I've never actually told people to do that, but if you could like the stream, it'll actually boost it so we can get more people in here. And if there's more people in here, then I'll definitely stay, and I'll stick around. But yeah, I feel like I'm yapping a lot, just showing you like there's the setup, and how it looks really, it looks really rough, but hopefully it makes sense as to why I'm structuring it this way. You can begin to see like some of the paneling that I'm doing, and even some of the thinking, speech bubbles and stuff like that. Um, it's just there so that I can know how to be able to map everything out. And that's why you're seeing me draw that other panel, because right around here, this is where I'll be putting all of those fancy characters that I was just drawing in the other space. So that's what this is for, right? It goes from that to this, and I'm still mapping stuff out, trying to figure out, okay, where am I going to put all these other characters? Am I going to just make like blobs, or like usually for crowds, I just do these blobs. So yeah, I'm doing all of this for the webtoon contest for next year, and that's what I'm trying to enter it into. I'm having fun doing it, but it's also a lot of work because it's like 40 panels, and I've had to really structure behind the scenes each and every different panel and all that stuff. So how do I plan on exploring the world building? I'm doing it right in front of you. Like I've set the stage so that it's easy to follow in the beginning, but the thing about world building is that it has to, at least for me, it has to be teased out, because the main characters, or why we're here, is we're following Bonnie and Clyde. So we have to establish what the world is like, why their motivations are necessary, and why we want to even follow them. We have to give them a reason to have an adventure. And so from the very beginning, I've already established, okay, this is distant in space. This is one of the elite planets, I guess you could say, right? Like there's people living here. It's all humans. We're not dealing with any type of aliens. It's just straight up like humans on different planets throughout some faraway galaxy. And so from there, you can begin to let your mind go wherever it wants to go. But right now, we're just focused on Bonnie and Clyde, and what are they doing here? Why are they doing it? And so for most of the settings, I have a very Afro-Caribbean vibe going on. It's either very African or either very Caribbean, for most of it. And yeah, I'm not getting in. I don't want to spoil too much, but hopefully that makes sense. Um, yeah, through the character's actions or exposition. So I don't like doing a lot of heavy exposition, because at least with the way that I'm starting this one off, I didn't show you how I'm starting it off. I want to keep some things for you to actually read and enjoy. But I'm starting it off kind of flashy, and so I feel like the exposition I would start off really great, fast paced, and then the exposition, if I just have like blocks of text or too much text or just like too much filler, it would slow it down too much. So I'm trying to figure out how to pace it. And what I like to do is I like to have an exposition through our characters' actions, through our characters' narrations and stuff like that. And so that's what I'm trying to attempt. Like for even for the setting of the exposition here, it's through one of the hosts of the auction. And so he's kind of giving you background, but I'm also giving you the visuals so that you can feel more of the atmosphere going on there. So that's why I've set it up like this. But that's a great question. It's a great question. I think I like these two, but I don't like the lady in the center. She's not flashy enough. So let me, like, I want to make this feel, yeah. So I still wanted to feel African, but she's far away, and I want to make her feel bougie at the same time. So this just kind of came to me just now. Right? Yeah. I feel like this is somewhat better. Like I'm getting closer. Because I didn't create this character design before I started streaming. I just came on. Let me see if there's any more questions. Yeah, it's more of a show don't tell kind of thing. Because at least for what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to stand out, and I want us to be curious about the world and how it works and stuff like that. I think the I think by keeping it sort of mysterious, it adds to that epic nature and causes readers to want to know more instead of just telling them everything from out the gate. Um, so I can still keep it simple without necessarily having to, you know, spoon feed you. Love your art style. Thank you. Yo, what's up, Malik? What's up, Malik? Yo, Saint Chroma, I started off late. I started off late. I don't even know how much time I have left on here, to be honest. I know I can do maybe an hour. Granted, if y'all just ask me questions, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we can get it done. Um, I think an hour would be nice. Ooh, let me see. I'm trying to put something on her head, but maybe that's not necessary. I feel like that design is better. She stands out more. I don't know what she has around her neck, but it feels exotic, so I like it. That's what we're going with. That's what we're gonna go with. Um, yes, please ask more questions. I'll try not to spoil anything while doing my best. I was also thinking of making because so a lot of people like the Lion King um, animation that I did years ago. I think it was like 2 years ago at this point. Maybe people are still watching that. So I was thinking about making a YouTube video, like a what's it called? Speed paint. I saw somebody do a speed paint, and I thought people didn't do those anymore. I was like, okay, I guess if y'all want that, I could do it. Would y'all want me to do speed paints? Would y'all want me to do um what's it called? Like draw with me's and stuff like that, like an actual video while I just rant about something? Let me know. I do it. If it's relevant to y'all and y'all just want to watch me draw, I'll do that too. Sure, why not? There are some African neck pieces I could put on there. Oh, y'all do like speed paints, really? I thought people didn't like those. I'll have to ask. That's okay. That is interesting. Yeah, I feel like there's more that could be done here, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, maybe she is a royal. I don't know. I don't know. I like the fact that she's kind of slim here. Let's see. I like the fact that I added these lines. I feel like this requires a texture, not line work. Like the inside of her, whatever, the inside of this thing. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. But I do like Shorty right here. I like her a lot. Cool. I think we're getting somewhere. This is not Bonnie, by the way. This is not Bonnie. My influences. Mmm. A lot of my influences right now. So there's TM Wilson on Instagram. He's on everything, but that guy is amazing. He's amazing. Um, I just love the work that he does. Um, but there's also Jima Gariba. There's Panda Exclamated. I'm just saying a bunch of Instagram names, man. Let me see. Riley Quinn art. She's amazing. Amazing, I tell you. Yeah, both of these, actually, all these characters have neck rings. I'm not sure if they should all have neck rings, but they all do have neck rings. Yeah. TM, man, honestly, he inspired a lot of the work, like a lot of the workflow or like the flow of the what's it called of the mobile game as well. Um, I just love the way that he structured it, and so that inspired like how I wanted to also structure the dating sim, because that's essentially what it is. But there's a lot of action involved. It's pretty fast paced. Um, I wouldn't say it's like your typical dating sim because the characters, um, they're they're running from the law. Let me tell you, they're doing a lot, but along the way, they really start to hit it off. And so I like the banter that I put between the two of them, and how it's not it's more of like a sort of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Smith kind of vibe. Um, and so there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on with the two of them, especially in the beginning. But as they warm up to one another, we really begin to see their dynamic and how they work together. Yeah. Yeah. I was also inspired by Spy Family the for a lot of everything really. I was inspired by Spy Family, and I wondered what it would be like if if Yor from Spy Family was a lot more outgoing, if she was a lot more talkative and stuff, as well as um, if they actually, if Yor and Lloyd actually went on, like, what's it called? If they went on missions together. I don't know why that word escaped me. Cool. I like the way she looks. I like the way she looks a lot. Hmm, this could be better. Yeah. Okay. Right. I like it. Okay, let's move on to this guy. To Avdol. Did I have to do a ton of research on African and Caribbean civilization before this? So, I've been blessed to, well, so I'm African myself. My family's from Ghana, but I've also been very well acquainted with a lot of my Caribbean friends too. Um, and so, especially like in high school, I was exposed to a lot of different cultures, which was very cool. And I have friends who I can like double check a lot of these things with. So although I did have to do a lot of research, I also have like a pretty good idea of how to be able to represent some of these cultures pretty well. And so that's what I've been referencing. Just like I can, for example, I love the way that Trinidadians speak, and I love a lot of their culture and stuff like that. So like I can already tell how to be able to represent Haitian culture, um, Bayesian culture. It's not just the Jamaicans that we're going after. You know what I mean? Um, on top of the fact that I went to an African American prep school, so a lot of the culture of like African culture and like the history and stuff like that was very well acquainted with, and we did a lot of history classes on that sort of stuff. Hey, nice, Joanne. So yeah, Lisa, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you guys doing? I know Avdol has like the little rat tail at the back of his head. I'm not putting that on there. I'm not putting that on here. Go. Cool, cool, cool. So if you're just popping in, um, I am making progress on this. Hmm, that looks a little weird, but you can take it. I'm making progress on this webtoon. Um, Sort of like a cowboy bebop vibe. It's a love and action romance. Um, I love. It's an action romance, sci-fi adventure with um, a bunch of heists. There's a bit of a prison break. Um, it's definitely on the run type of vibes. Um, Sticking it to the man. type of stuff going on here. Um, but yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear things are going good for you. So I'm just giving you more context as to what I'm doing. This I'm kind of setting the scene for the beginning. That's what you're looking at right now. Um, so for the manga or the webtoon or whatever, I'm just kind of showing you guys based on how I've structured the first few panels. Let me go back just in case you're new here. I've structured all the panels in a scroll format. And so right now I'm up to this part right here. This is what we're looking at, where we have like close-ups of all of these elites and they're coming to an auction. That's all I'll give you for now. But yeah, you're pretty much, I'm gonna get to the artifacts later. I'm gonna get to when we actually see full body images of our two main characters. We're gonna be, doing the typical walk past each other and stuff like that. And so yeah, that's kind of where we're going now. And so this is the panel where we're still setting the scene. I want it to feel very posh, very royal, otherworldly, and I still want to have that sci-fi vibe to it, but more of like an Afrofuturistic type of vibe. So I'm trying to figure out what elements I should add or take away without spending too much time on something like this, because the contest submission is like March 10th. That gives me about roughly a month to make 120 panels, at least. I gotta move. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of decisions I'm going to have to make, and I think I'm doing pretty well actually. I have a lot of backgrounds. I have a lot of stage settings that I can use and stuff like that. So I can make ground on this, but there's also other projects that I have to do, other things that God has told me that I have to do, and I'm not gonna, get into everything, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Hmm. Right. Okay. It's like the third time I'm coming over here. All right. Hey. Yes, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. It could actually help me um, in my development as well. If you need clarity on anything, let me know. Okay. Moving. I still don't know what to do with this thing here. I just know that I really like it. So the elites they're all in cahoots with one another, right? So they're mainly from this one corporation called White Rock. And White Rock is like this conglomeration of basically the equivalent of the Amazons of the world, the equivalent of the Targets of the world, the equivalent of the McDonald's and the healthcare system, all of that, right? They're all working together in order to be able to funnel resources from underdeveloped planets and take their resources and use it for their own gain, essentially. And that's why I was wondering, should I actually have these black people as elites when I know, you know. But here's the thing. The reason why it was debatable for me is because in a lot of African countries, in a lot of Caribbean countries, you still have the people who are there, who are from there, taking advantage of their own people. And so I began to wonder, like, okay, is this a racial thing 100%, or is this also a class thing? And so obviously there's sort of the ringleader who is more of the, how do I say, the host is definitely the one who's pulling the strings. However, that does not absolve the black people of the diaspora from selling out their own, essentially. Yeah, like this is not 100% a white and black thing. I think this is really more of a class thing in which like you wouldn't you like the elites of this world wouldn't be able to take resources from Africa, from the Caribbean, and take advantage without the people who are already living there, their permission, right? Like there's a lot of corruption in a lot of these developing nations and stuff like that, and that means there's also deals going on. That means there's also, people who are essentially selling out their own. And although that's not necessarily at the forefront of the story from the beginning, that is something that we see later on. And so although this is still very much a romance type of thing, um, what I find important is the alignment of the two characters who were at odds before, growing closer and closer, and they find themselves working together as a team. And so I've noticed the importance of um, alignment in partnership, and I'm not sure if that is highlighted as much in a lot of romance stories and stuff like that. But I think it's important to be on the same page with whoever your partner is, whoever your teammate is. Y'all have to agree on a lot of different things. Not to get churchy, but the Bible says, how can two work together unless they agree? And so that's kind of where some of the philosophy comes from here. And so that's why I want to essentially shine a light on that too. Yeah, definitely some aspects of self-hatred in here too. And it gets messy. It gets messy because it's like, okay, where does it stop? Where does it end? And it's sort of like how in in Squid Games, although there are atrocities going on, people are voluntarily being involved in these things, right? And so although there's a lot of funneling of resources from these underdeveloped planets, the people in charge, the elites of these planets, are voluntarily giving it over for their own personal gain, which is something that I've seen in almost every developing nation, where like they're willing to give over their resources and sell out the people who are there for their own personal gain. And it's that sort of corruption that we see again and again and again. So yeah, I think this is pretty good. for now, I'm gonna fill this in just for y'all. I'm going to actually no. I need to figure out the patterns and designs and stuff like that. Hmm. Let's see. Right here. Okay. Boom. Okay. I'm just making stuff up at this point. These are not like legit African print designs. I'm just making stuff up. The reason why I feel like sort of confident to be able to do this is because um for math class, I don't know why, but my math teacher had us make like we would start off the first 5 minutes of every class making these whatever patterns that you want, like making these repeated patterns called mandalas or something like that. And so I knew it was like a. She said that it was an African tradition. I don't know which one, but you know what? Let me make this a triangle. But we would repeat these patterns, and I remembered it being similar to like what I would see on like women's traditional attire. Just these repeated patterns over and over again. So I'm gonna use pretty vibrant colors for these because I want the panels to be like, I want this to be something that you've never seen on Webtoon before. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of whether I win or not, I want this to be something that like it kind of breaks the mold on Webtoon at least. Because at least on Webtoon, and this is no slight to them, because they have a lot of great content, but I don't see a lot of black content on there. And so, or at least when I do see it, it's like interracial stuff. And again, no slight to that. I really mean that. There's no slight to that. But I want to see more black stuff. And I'm not saying it's not there at all. I'm just saying because there's people who are like Ordeal or It Ends With You. Those are my two top favorite ones. Like they made some really fire stuff. But I want to see more. Yeah. Ordeal is pretty much the only one that's still going. And Ordeal isn't really like it's definitely an epic. It's definitely like man, it's man, it's definitely an action based webtoon. But I want Brent to get a deal so bad. I want him to get a like some sort of like animation deal somehow, somewhere, some way. I want it to happen so bad. I think a lot of us do, but like, ah man. Let's see. Cool. Hmm. See, ooh, okay. How about we do? I rarely ever do squares. Hmm? All right. And do the same thing here. Okay. Yes. 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 Ah, that means sensible. Mm, cool. Ah, you know what's missing? This lady right here needs a pendant of some sort. Then that work? Hmm. I actually want. I think that makes sense. Cool, cool. Now this lady in the center, because she's in the center, I feel like she has to stand out more. Like there has to be something about her fit that's like, yo, that's fire, and I see why she's in the center. Apart from this thing, I'm like, okay, what else? Because they got their fits on. You know what I mean? Like they're doing the things that they need to be doing. She feels kind of bland in comparison to them. And I'm trying to figure out how to make her stand out more. Not that this is like incredibly important as a panel, but I want this to feel I want this to feel what's the word? Not minimalist, maximalist. You know what I mean? I want this to feel a little bit over the top. I'm trying to figure out what I can add to her dress, maybe. I mean, she already has something around her neck. I really feel like the dress needs to stand out, and I feel like the dress is too. You know what? Maybe I should add like shoulder pads or something. Like, what if I like something around here? Sorry if the ads are loud. That's not my fault. I don't know what to do about that. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, if you're in here, please go ahead and like the stream. Go ahead and like the stream, share it if you can. Um, yeah, I would very much appreciate that. Ah, this is a toughie, but it's already 7:35. I'll have to sometimes you gotta sleep on it. Right? Sometimes you gotta leave it alone and come back to it. So right now I'll cover the other two for you guys, and then I'll pick this up at a different time because I do have to I do have to work on the what's it called? The mobile game. Alright. So I'm just gonna do some quick colors for y'all, and then I'm gonna have to live stream another day. Ugh. So sometimes Procreate does this weird thing where it doesn't fill in everything. That pisses me off. I'm not sure what to do about that. It's like, ugh. That sucks, man. It will just do this out of nowhere. So I have to come in and fill it on my own. Honestly, here's what we're gonna do. We go to invert, right? I'm just gonna fill okay, all right. No way, Lisa. Lisa, Lisa, come on. Why you do this to me? Thank you so, man. Lisa, thank you so much. That's a blessing. That is truly a blessing. Honestly, I can't thank you enough for that. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Yeah, let's do that. Thank you. Aw, man. Okay. Now I'm just gonna fill in stuff. Let's make the dude a little light skin. I feel like Abdal is actually darker than this. Yeah. Yeah, that's alright. Let's see. Let's give them fiery eyes. Right. Cool. Give them that brown here. I believe has like dark brown hair. Are you guys seeing this, man? Like, this is ugh. But here we go. And I know Avdol has like the things coming up to his ears and stuff. I didn't do that this time. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Oh. Now I'm fine with it this way because I'm hoping. Yeah, it doesn't look so bad. With this behind it. Okay. We're gonna let it ride. Okay. Yeah. Actually, let me get the same color as this. Just so that there is continuity. Yeah. And actually, so one thing that I try to do is I try not to make the hair black. So sometimes you'll see me do like this navy blue for hair, because the black makes it seem like the void, and it kind of just when it comes to palettes, like color palettes and stuff like that, doesn't necessarily work well, especially when you already have black for lines like I do. I find that it can actually be more distracting. Like, this black is kind of cool too, but then you lose all of the designs that I make, like the geometric shapes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to lose that. Oh, like, this is cool. Let me still see if I can fit in some stuff. What would her color palette be? Let's go with a bunch of purples, because I know that represents royalty. Let's fit in purples whenever we can. Yep. Cool. We'll go with like a lavender here. Cool. All right. Now I'm gonna go with like a blue, maybe. Yeah, let's go with this teal here. Okay. Hey, Nautica. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, for believing in me. Thank you. You're very kind. You always have been, actually. So I appreciate you. You've always been very, very kind, very charitable. Thank you. Yeah, I like her too. I like her. Actually, let me add the. If I didn't add the marking step, I usually do. Let me see. What do I want to give her this time? Let's give her. Something like this. Yeah, I like that. Then I like drawing two-tone lips. I don't know what it is about it. I just love drawing two-tone lips. It's just my thing. Let's go to Avdol over here. Fresh Prince. Let's go. Let's go right here. Let's see. What do we want to do? I don't know if I want to go purple again. It does have on gold. Actually, what's Avdol's? Give me a second. Yeah, it's red. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm yawning, so that means it's almost that time, y'all. I got it. Let's see. Yep. Okey-doke. Yeah, that makes it's fine. Then beige. Let's go with beige. Bye, Lisa. Sorry, y'all. I'm working through this in real time. Okay. I now have the strangest craving to play Animal Crossing. Why? Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. Makes no sense. I want it. I want it anyway. Put it in my veins. I like the warm colors he has. Actually, yes, I think I'll go back with the orange again. And then you know what? Let's go red here. Let's go more of a magenta. Okay, cool. Then her in the center, man, we just gonna make her stuff green, I guess. You got warm on one side, you got cool colors on the other side. She should be a neutral. Does she have to be? let's make her tone real red, real reddish. Actually, I don't do a lot of tones like this, but I want to. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Invert. All right, yeah, y'all. I'm gonna be giving y'all a speed paint. I did not know that people actually wanted to see those, so I guess I'll be doing one. And I have an idea for one. So I guess that's what I'll be doing. If you're just coming in, please just give me a like for the live stream. I know I'm about to get off soon, but it's still boosted up in the algorithm. And if you want to see more, there's always my Patreon. I'm coming back with the stuff, man. There's stuff that I wasn't able to show here that will be available in the Patreon. I'm trying to be more consistent with that, and so there's going to be a bunch more stuff in there right after this stream. They're going to see a lot of the stories and stuff like that that don't get to see here first. Yeah. This is interesting, I guess. Actually, what if I went with a different color? What if I went with like something that was opposite on the color wheel? Like, ooh, this blue is nice. I actually kind of like this blue. Hold on. Nah. I really liked that blue though. So I might just take right here. You can see it was louder than that. I mean, this is cool. I kind of like this. Anywho. Listen, man. Point of the story is, if you want to start off your manga or webtoon well, thumbnailing is a great way to get all your thoughts organized, and so it'll actually save you more time by doing those thumbnails. Trust me, I don't like doing thumbnails either, to be frank with you, but if you want to be efficient, if you want to make sure that you are telling a story that makes sense, that's something that people can follow well without having to do double the work, I would recommend doing thumbnails. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, it helps. It helps a lot, because then you'll understand, like, oh, the scene that I wanted to put in or the panel that I wanted to put in doesn't necessarily work as well without a few more panels before it. And then you also need like some reprieve after it as well, and so you're trying to figure out the balance. Thumbnailing helps you with that a lot. I wouldn't have gotten this panel without thumbnail. So take that for what you will. Let's go. Let's go here. Cool. Okay. Hopefully this helps. I'm actually making progress. Now I gotta make more progress on other stuff. Hopefully this wasn't boring for you guys. I hope you guys have a good night. And I'll probably see you again later on this week, God willing. Yeah. Y'all have a good one. Stay blessed. That's about it, y'all.